Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Bhashati Banerjee from School of Biotechnology, Gautam Budh University. Here, I will be discussing about the module DNA replication in eukaryotes from the paper Genetic Engineering and Recombinant DNA Technology. In this module, we will begin with an overview of eukaryotic cell cycle, and then we shall point out the replication, define the replication point. Then we shall elaborate upon the components of eukaryotic genome and the different components of eukaryotic replication machinery. We will then have a detailed discussion about the various steps involved in eukaryotic DNA replication, followed by a summarizing note on fidelity of DNA replication. To conclude, we shall highlight the similarities and differences in replication process in prokaryotes and eukaryotes and also outline the important features in both. Although the replication mechanism is conserved in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, yet we must understand that there exist certain striking differences in the pre-replication events in the two domain of organisms. Now, I would like to highlight here the single most important feature which distinguishes the eukaryotes from the prokaryotes is the occurrence of nucleus and the fact that the eukaryotic genome is invariably enclosed within a defined nuclear envelope and the prokaryotic genome is invariably devoid of a defined nuclear envelope. So, how does the enormous amount of DNA content which is present in eukaryotic genome, how does it ever get organized within a nucleus which is barely 4 to 6 microns in size? Inside the nucleus, the eukaryotic chromosome is organized in the form of highly compacted chromatin fibers, also known as condensed chromatin or chromosome. The first step in DNA compaction is formation of nucleosomes, which is then further compacted into solenoid fibers of packed nucleosome having a dimension of 30 nanometers. These solenoid fibers are then produced into chromatin loops, forming the looped domain of 300 nanometers, which again condenses to form the condensed chromatin of 700 nanometer dimension. During metaphase, the most compacted form of eukaryotic chromosome is observed having a dimension of 1400 nanometers. Now let's understand what is the exact point of DNA replication in eukaryotic cell cycle. As we have already seen that the most important difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes is the existence or occurrence of nucleus and genome enclosed inside a nuclear envelope. As such, replication must occur only at a definitive point of time and not throughout the cell cycle. During the early part of cell cycle, which is known as the G1 phase, only the pre-replication complex enzymes are synthesized. RNA, mRNA and protein synthesis occurs throughout the G1 phase, but there is no DNA replication. Thereafter comes the S phase or synthetic phase. This is the exact point of DNA replication in eukaryotic cell cycle, by the end of which the entire DNA content of the eukaryotic genome is replicated having a 4N orientation. Following the S phase is the G2 phase or the last phase of eukaryotic cell cycle before mitosis. During G2 phase, only the compaction of replicated chromosome occurs and there is no further DNA synthesis. We have already seen that the cell cycle in eukaryotes is quite a complex sequence of events. As such, the cell must have several inbuilt checkpoints to ensure that the cell cycle occurs in a proper, error-free, foolproof manner. The various checkpoints in eukaryotic cell cycle are shown in this diagram. Of our special interest is the checkpoint that coincides with the S phase that ensures that cell should not progress further before the entire DNA synthesis is completed. Also, it is this checkpoint which ensures that the DNA is replicated only once during the cell cycle, and second round of replication should not initiate prior to mitosis. By now, we have discussed about the cell cycle in eukaryotes. We have discussed about the genome packaging in eukaryotes, and we have also defined the point of DNA replication. Let us now move on to the major event of our module. Let us now understand let us now have a detailed insight into the individual components of the elaborate and complex eukaryotic replication machinery. We must understand that whichever be the group of organism, prokaryote or eukaryote, the origin of replication must have a definitive sequence and usually remains conserved throughout that particular group of organism. So is the case with eukaryotes also. The origin of replication is a defined 11 base pair core consensus sequence which acts as an autonomously replicating sequence, also known as ARS. This happens to be a AT-rich sequence that is easy to unwind and easy to identify for the primosome. Primosome in eukaryotes is a 4 subunit complex composed of DNA primase, which is a DNA-dependent RNA polymerase, and DNA polymerase alpha. It initiates DNA synthesis of both the leading and lagging strands by formation of chimeric RNA DNA primers. It's interesting to note that human primosome is a 340 kilodalton complex of DNA primase and DNA polymerase. The eukaryotic primosome complex happens to be a highly complicated and highly regulated assembly of proteins. As you can see in the first diagram, the human primosome complex is composed of multiple subunits and subdomains, some dedicated for DNA binding such as the zinc binding domains, some dedicated for recruiting other proteins essential for the primosome complex. In the adjacent diagram, we are trying to understand the sequence of events which occurred during formation and subsequent events of primosome complex. The first step in formation of primosome complex, which coincides with the initiation of DNA replication, is unwinding of the origin of replication, forming a single-stranded DNA, upon which RNTPs are recruited and assembled, forming the RNA primer. Second step coincides with elongation of RNA primer, forming a short stretch of oligonucleotides formed of RNTPs. Thereafter occurs the event of polymerase switching. The main DNA polymerase switches and replaces the primase. Thereafter occurs the event of polymerase switching, where the polymerase alpha becomes active and primase becomes inactive. DNA elongation continues while pol alpha remains active and primase remains inactive thereafter. Finally, the primer is released by removal of RNA primer, and pol alpha continues to synthesize the DNA strands. This occurs continuously on the leading strand, but in the lagging strand, this sequence of events is repeated in multiple cycles, forming multiple Okazaki fragments. Just like the primosome complex, the pre-replication complex in eukaryotes is also highly complicated and simultaneously highly regulated. The pre-replication complex in eukaryotes is composed of 6 ORC proteins. ORC happens to be the origin recognition complex, which recognize and bind to the autonomously replicating sequences. CDC6 is another component of the pre-replication complex. CDT1 acts as the licensing factor. This is a protein which is absolutely essential to trigger the replication. However, This protein is present in cytoplasm and cannot access the genome until and unless the nuclear envelope is disintegrated. So this in a way acts as a control switch to decide the replication point of DNA in eukaryotes. The CDK activated URC recruits CDC6 followed by CDT1 and MCM2. The loading of pre-replication complex recruits the DNA helicase, which then triggers opening up of DNA duplex and primosome assembly. DNA polymerase happens to be the single most important enzyme in terms of DNA replication, be it prokaryote or eukaryotic system. Of all the known DNA polymerases, two features remain consistent. The first, polymerizing ability only in the 5' 3' direction, and lack of de novo synthesis ability. That is, these DNA polymerases invariably require an existing DNA strand to begin the polymerizing activity. In eukaryotes, at least 6 different types of DNA polymerases have been discovered. Pol alpha is dedicated for synthesis of primers, showing a 5' 3' polymerase activity, which actually is DNA dependent RNA polymerase activity. It does not have any exonuclease activity, however. Pol beta also synthesizes DNA in 5' 3' direction, however with a low fidelity. It is also involved in base excision repair. Pol gamma shows a 5' 3' polymerase and 3' 5' proofreading exonuclease activity. It is involved with mitochondrial genome replication. Pol delta shows high processivity 5' 3' DNA polymerase activity and 3' 5' proofreading exonuclease activity, and is mainly involved with synthesis of lagging strand. Pol epsilon again is a high processivity 5' 3' polymerase showing 3' 5' proofreading exonuclease activity, mainly involved with synthesis of leading strand. Pol kappa does not have any exonuclease or polymerase activity so far, but is required for attachment of cohesin. Eukaryotic chromosomes, unlike prokaryotic chromosomes, are linear in nature. The chromatin fiber is condensed into linear stretches of condensed chromosome. The origin lies somewhere in between, but the terminal sequences are known as telomeres, which are characterized by short repeated stretches of G nucleotides. Multiple repetitive sequences of triple G double TA, which code for no particular gene, characterize the telomeres in eukaryotes. Human telomeres are also composed of 6 base pair sequences in the order double TA triple G, repeated around 100 to 200 times. Elizabeth Blackburn is credited with discovering the activity of telomerase and has received Nobel for the same. We already know that the DNA polymerase on one hand can synthesize only in 5' 3' direction. On the other hand, it does not have a de novo synthesis ability. So how would the DNA polymerase ever be able to synthesize the telomeres in the lagging strand? Here comes the role of the enzyme called telomerase, which dedicatedly synthesizes the telomeres in the lagging strand. This is an enzyme which has an inbuilt RNA template which is complementary to the 3' overhang end of the lagging strand. As we have already discussed, the telomere sequences are consensus conserved repeats. So it's no wonder that the consistent RNA template can remain built in with the telomerase. Reverse transcriptase-like action of the telomerase ultimately results in synthesis of the telomere of the lagging strand, thus completing the DNA replication in eukaryotes. We have already gathered information about the components of replication machinery, and we have understood the extremely complex nature and elaborate mechanism by which the replication machinery works in eukaryotes. Now we shall take a dig into the various steps of DNA replication in eukaryotes, which shows some similarity with prokaryotic mechanism. Like the prokaryotes, the replication in eukaryotes can also be segregated into three distinct segments. Replication begins with the initiation of replication, where the DNA replication is triggered. Post-initiation event, the replication moves on to the elongation phase. By the end of elongation phase comes this phase of termination, during which the DNA replication is terminated, which is sealed off by the replication of telomeres mediated by the telomerase. Just like prokaryotes, the eukaryotic DNA replication is also characterized by a replication bubble, which is flanked by replication forks at either end. Wherever there is a replication fork, it requires a replisome complex to stabilize it. The eukaryotic replisome complex is a multi-protein, multi-subunit complex molecular machinery which exhibits at least two distinct functions. On one hand, it maintains the unwound state of DNA double helix and stabilizes the replication fork. On the other hand, it carries out DNA replication simultaneously. The eukaryotic replication complex, or eukaryotic replisome complex as it is also known, is characterized by the following proteins. To begin with, it includes the polymerase alpha, beta and epsilon, whose functions we have already discussed. pCNA, or proliferating cell nuclear antigen, happens to be the clamp loader complex which stabilizes the replisome complex on the DNA duplex. RFC is the recognition factor and RPA1 is the replication protein A, which also acts as a substitute of topoisomerase. Pol alpha is a primase, also known as, which acts as the DNA dependent RNA polymerase. MCM2 is the counterpart of single-stranded binding protein, which stabilizes the unwound single strands of DNA. Finally, GNS and CDC45 complete the replisome complex of eukaryotes. Let us now have a comprehensive look at the general model of DNA replication in eukaryotes. To begin with, similar to the DNA replication in prokaryotes, in eukaryotes also, DNA replication is semi-conservative in nature, semi-discontinuous in nature, and occurs in bidirectional pattern. DNA polymerase happens to be the critical enzyme which synthesizes DNA, and it lacks de novo synthesis ability. However, RNA polymerase exhibits the de novo synthesis ability and also participates in DNA replication in eukaryotes. Further, the DNA polymerase has only 5' 3' polymerase activity. Hence, it can add a new base, a new nucleotide, only to the free 3' hydroxyl group and not to the 5' phosphate group. As a result, on the leading strand, only a single RNA primer is required at the initiation of DNA replication. Thereafter, DNA strand is synthesized in a seamless, continuous manner in 5' 3' direction. On the lagging strand, however, it is known as lagging strand because the DNA synthesis begins shortly after the beginning of DNA synthesis in the leading strand. Further, on the lagging strand, DNA is synthesized in multiple short stretches called Okazaki fragments. Each Okazaki fragment is synthesized in a 5' 3' direction, and the synthesis of each Okazaki fragment requires its own primer. Hence, in the lagging strand, the event of priming is repeated multiple times. The DNA helix is unwound and prepared for synthesis by the combined action of pre-replication complex, which include DNA helicase and DNA primosome. The DNA primase synthesizes short stretch of RNA primer, thus forming a chimeric RNA-DNA complex. In other words, DNA primase happens to be DNA-dependent RNA polymerase, which provides the 3' hydroxyl group. The RNA primer synthesized by DNA primase provides the free 3' hydroxyl group, which is required to initiate replication or extend the DNA chain by DNA polymerase. The final product, however, would never have any stretches of RNA in it. When multiple numbers of Okazaki fragments are synthesized, then the RNA stretches or RNA primers attached to each Okazaki fragment are removed by the 5' 3' exonuclease activity of FEN1 and RNase H. The gaps in the lagging strand resulting from the removal of RNA primer are filled in by the 5' 3' polymerase action of DNA pol alpha, and the final nicks are joined and sealed off by DNA ligase. Here is a snapshot showing the summary of all the enzymes and their corresponding functions involved in eukaryotic DNA replication machinery. Let's begin with understanding each step of DNA replication in eukaryotes in details. Replication in eukaryotes also begins with triggering of initiation complex. When the licensing factor accesses the DNA at the origin of replication after disintegration of the nuclear envelope, that marks the initiation of DNA replication. This is followed by the assembly of pre-replication complex and 2 copies of DNA helicases at the ARS, which is the site of origin. Helicase induces ATP-dependent unwinding of DNA duplex, forming 2 individual single strands of DNA templates. Nearly 20 to 50 replicons initiate simultaneously at multiple ARS, which are distributed throughout the length of chromosomes. This is one striking difference between the prokaryotic replication and eukaryotic replication. Initiation event concludes with the assembly of primosome at the ARS, followed by the synthesis of chimeric RNA-DNA primer and initiation of elongation by DNA pol alpha. We will now discuss the various components of initiation complex in case of eukaryotic DNA replication. The pre-replication complex, the assembly of pre-replication complex triggers the initiation of DNA replication. This pre-replication complex contains or includes several proteins. It's a multi-subunit, multi-protein complex. And the important components are, to begin with, 6 ORC proteins or origin recognition complex proteins named ORC1 through ORC6. This also includes CDC6 and CDT1. CDT1 is a licensing factor which acts as the single important switch which during the non-replicative phase is present in the cytoplasm and can access the DNA only after the disintegration of nuclear envelope, and it is this licensing factor which, as the name suggests, provides the license or provides the final trigger to initiate the DNA replication. MCM proteins are the single strand binding proteins present in an heterohexameric form. Autonomously replicating sequences are the specific conserved sequences which are AT-rich sequences that are identified as the origin of replication in eukaryotic chromosome. HFM1 acts as the helicase whose main function is to unwind the DNA duplex and provide a single-stranded DNA template for replication. Then comes the role of primosome complex, which includes the replication protein A, the RPA1. It includes the RNase H, which is the RNA removal protein which helps in removing the RNA primers, and it includes DNA pol alpha, which is the extending enzyme. Elongation of these newly synthesizing DNA strands marks the next stage of DNA replication. Just like the prokaryotes, the DNA strand on the leading template is synthesized in a seamless manner in a continuous 5' 3' direction. On the lagging strand, however, multiple Okazaki fragments are synthesized, each being initiated by the formation of a short RNA primer. When a series of Okazaki fragments have been synthesized, the proofreading exonuclease activity removes the RNA primer, and the gaps are filled by synthesis of new DNA strands. Ultimately, the single position gap between adjacent Okazaki fragments are sealed by DNA ligase. Elongation activity of DNA replication includes the activity of multiple proteins such as replication factor C, flap endonuclease, topoisomerase, which stabilizes the unwinding of DNA duplex, replication protein A, and a number of polymerases which perform either extending of DNA strand by polymerizing activity or removal of primer by exonuclease activity. The entire replisome complex is kept loaded onto the DNA complex or DNA duplex by the clamp loader known as pCNA. In this slide, we try to represent a summary of events that occurred from the stage of initiation of replication through the elongation stage in eukaryotic genome. We can see the difference between the mode of replication in the leading strand and the lagging strand. The adjoining table gives a summary of all the enzymes involved in the entire series of events. The end of DNA replication in eukaryotes is known as the termination step, which is characterized by replication of telomeres of the chromosomes. Telomeres, as we have already discussed, are G-rich consensus sequences which mark the terminal sequences in chromosomes. Replication of the telomeres is mediated by telomerase, a specific enzyme which synthesizes telomeres in a reverse transcriptase-like action. Replication of telomeres has an important clinical significance. It has been observed that almost all types of cancers are associated with enhanced telomere replication or enhanced telomerase activity. Anthracycline, an antibiotic derived from streptomyces, which is a potent telomere activity or telomerase inhibitor, is presently used as an anti-cancer drug in several types of cancer, starting from uterine cancer to many other types of carcinogenesis. So by now we already know that eukaryotic genome is an enormous database of nucleotides, and every step of eukaryotic genome replication is a highly complicated, highly complex and multi-step process. Yet, every step of DNA replication in eukaryotes is accomplished with surprising level of precision and fidelity. Had this not been the case, we would have been experiencing random mutations every now and then, which would eventually accumulate to form a lethal condition. Accuracy of DNA synthesis in eukaryotes is mainly maintained by the proofreading activity, which is an inherent property of the DNA polymerases and a few other enzymes involved in DNA replication. The rate of replication in eukaryotes is typically 50 to 100 nucleotides per second. To be precise, in human DNA replicates at a rate of 50 nucleotides per second. Polymerases come with an intrinsic proofreading ability, which cooperate with the non-proofreading polymerases to ensure faithful and precise DNA replication. Multiple factors determine that the replication of DNA is performed in an accurate and precise manner. The determinants are combined result of the polymerase selectivity, giving an escape rate of 10⁻⁵, proofreading or 3' 5' exonucleolytic proofreading ability showing an error rate of 1 in 10 to the power 2, and a strand directed mismatch repair which gives an additional escape rate of 10 to the power minus 2. In total, the 3 steps provide a combined fidelity of 1 error in 10 to the power 9 nucleotides synthesized by the DNA replication machinery. Although the basics of replication remain same in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, however, the eukaryotic replication shows some striking differences as compared to the prokaryotic replication. The main similarity is that the replication occurs in 5', 3' direction in both and is mediated by polymerases. However, the differences occur in many steps. To begin with, the length of Okazaki fragments, the rate of replication, the number of replicons are all different in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. The time of replication is significantly confined to S phase in eukaryotes, while in prokaryotes it occurs towards the end of replication cycle. The types of polymerases and the subunits of polymerases also differ. However, the counterparts exhibit similar function. To conclude, let us summarize what we have learned in this module. We learned that DNA replication machinery in eukaryotes is a conserved and precisely regulated machinery. We understood that many of the cell cycle related disorders in humans are associated with disruption of checkpoints in DNA replication. P53 and P21 are the 2 gatekeepers of checkpoints in cell cycle. P53 and P21 mediated checkpoints of S phase in the eukaryotic cell cycle are known to be disrupted in many cases of carcinogenesis. Knowledge of such mutations and other conserved essential genes would definitely provide us novel targets for genome engineering and molecular therapy. Telomerase is being targeted as a molecule of choice for anti-cancer therapy, and several drugs are being developed for chemotherapy by targeting the telomerase. We conclude this module with this information. Thank you.